doing well. I'm doing well. So, again, I'm thankful for you for reaching out. I cannot wait to, hold on, make you a moderator.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm grateful for you reaching out. So, I just want to thank everybody for taking their time to come into the room called Melanin Nutrition. He's going to go ahead and just give us different, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So the way we're going to run the group is he's just going to go ahead, he's going to talk to us, he's going to educate us for about 20, 30 minutes or so, and then we'll bring everybody up to answer, to ask any questions that you guys may have, just to kind of engage. So go ahead, John, the floor is yours.
Thank you, I really appreciate that. How you guys doing? Like you said, my name is Jean Donnet. I am a holistic healer and herbalist who specializes in nutrition for the African diaspora, right? Just a little bit about myself before I continue, so you have some background, right? I have a certification in nutrition from Harvard. I have a bachelor's of science in electrical engineering from Hampton University, the real HU, if anybody happened to go to Howard or whatnot. Anyway, I am also a dancer, choreographer, and creative director in LA. I've worked with all these big names. I don't have to name drop, but just know it's been a lot of people, right? Dr. Layla Africa, Dr. Sabi, Master Patrick Henry, Herbalist Kareem. Those are all pioneers who I stand on the shoulders of. So the information that I'm going to tell you guys is new, but is not new, if that makes sense. There's nothing new under the sun, right? And I'm just making it into a different form, right, than what they have given us, right? By the end of this convo, you will learn a couple things. If you don't already, but if you're a part of the group, then you're probably wondering. You'll learn what is melanin, why it is important, how nutrition and melanin are correlated, holistic ways to heal from mental trauma, right? And then I'm also going to give you some books to help you guys. So, like I said, I'm going to go a little bit more, and then I'm going to start talking about melanin. A story about how I healed myself. I've had asthma, or I don't want to say have anymore. I had asthma. That's a wonderful thing to say. I had asthma from, the doctors told me I had asthma when I was born. Don't know if I believe that. But I had, they said I had it when I was born, and I had it up until a couple months ago, right? And I always knew something was wrong. I always knew that these medicines, the inhaler, the singular, the Advil, all these different medicines that I was being given wasn't really helping me, because if it was really helping me, why am I still taking it for years? You know what I mean? There was that, and then I read a book called, I was like 10 at the time. It was a book called The Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About by Kevin Trudeau, and it basically talks about the pharmaceutical industry and how they don't want us to know certain things in a nutshell, right? At that time, I didn't really know how important the material was I was reading, because I was younger. You follow me? And I wasn't really at the mental aptitude to really fully grasp the concept of what was really going on, right? And so I went from taking my inhaler 10 to 20 times a day, which is ridiculously bad. Like, it's insanely bad. We should not be doing any type of medication at all, period. But let alone 10 to 20 times a day. 10 to 20 times a day, right? And I went from that to now I'm at 0 to 1 times a day. And the only reason why I do it is because it's a mental issue now. Now it's no longer my body telling me, hey, I need this inhaler. Now it's my mind being like, it was such a habit from 28 years of using my inhaler. Are you following me? So now, I had to tell you that story of how I heal myself, right? Now let's go into what is melanin. Melanin is an organic, dark carbon chemical pigment something. Basically, it's a chemical, right? It's why black people are black. It's why we have rhythm, we have soul. It's a reason for all that. It's a reason, one reason why we're so spiritual, et cetera, right? It is secreted by our pineal gland, which is found in the middle of the brain and the third ventricle of the brain. Yes. Processed foods, synthetic foods, all that stuff impact the pineal gland in a negative way. The pineal gland, it regulates many things in the body, including the adrenocorticotropic hormone, aka ACTH. Let's call it ACTH, right? Because that's a mouthful. Which is essential for physical and mental growth and development. The pineal also stimulates the nervous system and the brain. If the melanin secreted is compromised through high-risk foods, aka synthetic foods, GMO foods, salt, sugar, right? Then the type of thinking, aka high vibrational thinking required to transcend emotional, mental, and spiritual problems is not adequate, right? So if our melanin is compromised, then our mental is off, our spiritual is off, our emotional is off, and our physical is off, right? The pineal gland needs sunlight to secrete melanin. The full spectrum light hitting the retina nerve stimulates the pineal gland to secrete melanin. Follow me? So our sunlight is more than just vitamin D. You need the sunlight to stimulate the pineal gland to secrete melanin, right? Melanin turns into serotonin and melatonin. I know you probably heard of serotonin and probably melatonin at one point. Serotonin is called the happy chemical. Melatonin is responsible for the circadian rhythm. If your serotonin levels are off, your mood is off, which means your mental can be off, which means that you are not going to be at your full functioning capacity and you might feel mild depression, which is what we're trying to avoid, right? If your melatonin levels are off, then our body's internal clock is off, which can cause physical dysfunction, which can translate to mood swings and depression and other things of that nature. You follow me? So I'm trying to show you how it all correlates here now. Without sunlight to stabilize the circadian rhythm, the deprivation of sunlight causes seasonal affective disorder, aka SAD, right? Which is basically when you go into wintertime and people say that they just feel bad during the wintertime. Well, that's because there's less sunlight. And not only is there less sunlight, now because we're in a Western civilization, we're always inside of the house. We're never outside of the house. And in our African ancestry, they will always be outside because they understood the importance of the sun and the melanin, right? And so sunlight is important, it's key. But it's key because of the melanin that becomes secreted into the system. Follow me? With that being said, I assume that everybody in this chat is already following Black Men and Mental Health page, right? I would assume that. I have a lot more videos on my YouTube channel, so if you click my name and then you follow and then you go to my Instagram, blah blah blah, follow me. I have more information on there, right? Moving on, melanin absorbs a full spectrum of light: colors, sounds, microwaves, radio waves, etc., etc. Caucasians are not able to absorb the full spectrum. They absorb a very minuscule amount of light, which is why they can't be in the sunlight for too long because it burns them. Like it's detrimental to their health. Follow me? Now, this next point I do want to emphasize. I do want to make sure that this is something that we are actually grasping. This next point I'm about to say. Melanin will attack harmful synthetic chemicals in order to transport them somewhere else and destroy it. When you bombard your body with toxicity, aka food, bad water, drugs, caffeine, low vibrational music, etc., your body does not have a chance to excrete these toxins. So what happens is that the synthetic chemicals are actually bonded to the melanin. And not only is it bonded, it's now one molecule. And what happens is that that molecule gets lodged into different parts of your body, right? And then things like disease or cell phone radiation or GMO foods or you know all the things we know are bad, right? Take that melanin synthetic chemical cluster formation, and now it takes it and it puts it into the bloodstream. So now your bloodstream becomes toxified. You follow me? And this causes more problems. And then you eat more stuff, and then the melanin clusters come out again, and then you follow me? It's just a cycle. And then it goes back into the blood, then it comes around, and you eat more bad stuff. It's just a big old cycle, right? It's just like being on a hamster wheel where they're just running around in circles, or if you're in a game and you're a video game and you're experiencing a glitch and you keep hitting that same glitch. You follow me? In America, it is easier said than done to heal yourself from any type of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual ailment, because we're always bombarded with everything. You go on Instagram and you see these silhouette challenges that can be detrimental to your mental and your spiritual energy. You go to freaking Whole Foods, and the organic vegetables and fruit are not even really organic vegetables and fruit, and now you're eating bad food. Technically it's not even food, because food is supposed to nourish your body. You follow me? And so it's very important for us to really understand the importance of our melanin and how it's just not a pigment. It's more important than just being a pigment, right? The melanin is why we are who we are. You follow me? It's detrimentally important. And now I'm going to talk about some herbs that can help with mental health, right? And hopefully throughout what I've been saying, you were able to see the correlation between melanin, nutrition, and mental health, because it's all connected. It's all synergistic. So some herbs to help. St. John's wort is a great herb that people use for nerve issues, and nerve issues are the same thing as mental issues, because your brain is stimulated by electricity, right? So your thoughts are electrical signals, right? And those electrical signals get transferred from your brain one side to the other, blah, 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 blah. And those thoughts are electricity. And so you want to help the nerve, because the nerve is what transports the electricity. So you have to have a strong nervous system, a central nervous system, and St. John's wort's help with that. Rosemary is another good one. Paul Diarco, I don't know if you've heard of that. PAU space D''AARCO. Paul Diarco is a good one. Sarsaparilla is a great one. It's a great one because Jamaican sarsaparilla, because there's a difference between sarsaparilla and Jamaican sarsaparilla. Jamaican sarsaparilla has the highest concentration of iron out of all the plants in the plant kingdom. You follow me? And we all know that we're deficient in iron, magnesium, and all the other minerals that we need to actually sustain life, right? And a deficiency in these minerals can make us become more susceptible to mental health issues, and that's what we're trying to avoid, right? we don't want to be depressed. I remember being depressed right before COVID hit, and I didn't really know why it was happening. But I know why it happened now, because COVID was right around the corner. You follow me? But yeah, we want to avoid those things. Hit my hand on quick. Someone has a question. Chanel Torn. Let me add her. Oh, someone was jamming. Did you have a question? I was assuming you had a question. You had your hand raised.
How did you know?
Hello?
Hello, babies. Can just joined here, and we are a little bit down. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Is it important here for people to join?
I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand what you were saying.
So there's poor connection in here. I don't know if you heard what we were saying, but what would you like to know from us? Our connection is relatively poor. It said so in the notifications. But I see here that the talking point is melanin nutrition. So we would like to hear about your.
Okay. I guess you must have just joined in. I definitely had discussed it already. Because I don't want to waste people's time in here who are here from the beginning. I'm going to ask you to go to my Instagram and my YouTube, because I have a whole bunch of videos talking about melanin nutrition on there already. Right? If you click on my face and then you click on the Instagram part, I have a whole bunch of videos up there, and then on my Instagram, in the link, there's a YouTube link to see all the other melanin nutrition videos. But yeah, that is the premise of melanin nutrition, and it's so simple that it's hard. You follow me? It's not something that you haven't heard already. Maybe you haven't heard it in this type of way, but it's not anything you haven't heard already. It's not like you haven't heard to eat your vegetables and fruit because it's electric. It's not like you haven't heard you need to not drink fluoride water. It's not like you haven't heard you're not supposed to use fluoride toothpaste. It's not like you haven't heard these things. I'm telling you things you already know, but now you probably have a better understanding on how melanin plays a role in that. And I hope that you did find that connection. Because if you didn't, then I didn't do my job correctly. But yeah, does anybody else have a question, comment, or concern?
Hi, Jean. I just want to reset the room really quick. This is the Black Men in Mental Health Club. If you are not following the club, please make sure that you do click that little green house up at the top. The guys and there are some ladies that are in the Black Men in Mental Health Club as well. We have halftime on Sundays, and any other time that the room is open, you are able to get that notification. And as Jean has said, he has really talked about the melanin nutrition, and he has opened it up for the floor up for questions. And so if you do want to reach out to him about anything that he's already talked about, or see any of his videos, or learn more information about all of the things that he has talked about, he does have his IG connected that has lots of great videos on there as well, so you are able to do that. But at this time, if you wanted to ask him any questions that can help you going forward, please make sure you do raise your hand and come up to the stage.
Yes, thank you. I'm also a herbalist. I said that in the beginning, but because I'm a herbalist, I do know the different herbs that will actually help with mental issues, right? So if you have a question on the herbs, what herbs to take, et cetera, I can definitely answer any question you have. If I'm going to wait a couple of seconds, see if anybody has a question. Cool. It doesn't seem like anybody has a question. So with that being said, I'm gonna talk about some books that I highly suggest everybody have. Everybody should have these books. If you're black, if you're part of the African diaspora, you need to have these books. This one is called Melanin: What Makes Black People Black by Dr. Layla Africa. How to protect and nourish it, the difference between black and white people, how it causes emotional behaviors and thoughts, and how it's being destroyed. This is, I'm just going to leave it at, you have to get this book, right? That's the book you need to get. Then there's one called The Melanin Diet by Deanne Menegal. Hopefully I pronounced the last name right. But this is a great one to have because it not only breaks down things that doctors learn in college, but it also breaks it down in a way to where you understand why it's important for you as a black person, black man, black woman, to actually focus on your melanin nutrition. Yes. Another book. Shoot. Herbal Pharmacy by Linda Rector Page. Now, Linda Rector Page is a Caucasian woman, but the information that she gives for herbs and creating your own herbal apothecary, which is basically your own herbal pharmacy, right, is quality information. Not all, Caucasians are bad. I have Caucasian friends. They're great. You follow me? But Linda Rector Page is one of the ones who is actually fighting for health in general, no matter what color you are. You follow me? With that being said, that's a book I recommend. Melanin: What Makes Black People Black, and then The Melanin Diet is another one that I also recommend. Is there another book that I have that I would recommend? No, those are the three that I would recommend for now. And yeah, that's basically all it is about melanin nutrition. Like I said, there's nothing you haven't heard. It's not exciting information. I don't speak in an exciting tone. I'm not really animated, but this is quality information that you're getting. This is quality information. I've healed other people besides myself. I healed someone from COVID. You feel me? I gave them herbs and they got better from COVID. And a lot of people can't even figure that out. It's not like this is difficult stuff, but you just have to have the knowledge to do so. You follow me? And so that's really all I had to say. If anybody has a question, then we can talk. But there's no questions. I don't really have much else to say.
Thank you so much for the information you provided, John. As Delilah was stating, we are Black Men in Mental Health, so if you haven't already, please feel free to go up and click on the little house at the top. Again, the floor is still open for questions for John, so feel free to raise your hand and come on up if there's anything you would like to share or add to the conversation. All right, so again, thank everybody for joining. We really, really appreciate it, and we're going to go ahead and end the room. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Have a good one, guys. Be safe.